We are now in week 3 of our fried rice Fridays in February. And so the one that I'm making today is not like we did in week 1, Yangzhou fried rice. It's not the Hokkien style fried rice. It's actually going away from China altogether. We're making Indonesia's favorite, Nasi Goreng. So Nasi Goreng in Bahasa, whether it's Bahasa Malay or Bahasa Indonesia, just means nasi, rice, goreng, fried. So it's just fried rice. There's a million different varieties of Nasi Goreng. It's probably one of the most popular dishes you can get traveling all throughout Malaysia and Indonesia. There are versions that are very street style, very simple, very cheap. There are other sort of fancier versions that you might get if you're a Australian traveling in Bali or something like that. And we're gonna do something a little bit, I guess, more on the fancier side, just because Nasi Goreng as an Indonesian street dish or a Malaysian street dish is very low rent. It's not a wealthy country, Indonesia, so when you've got a lot of people who want something cheap and on the run to just pick up, Nasi Goreng tends to be something that you can get. So it's very much just rice, as we've got here, just some cooked and chilled jasmine rice with a bit of flavoring and a fried egg on top. That's the basis of it. I'm gonna do something a little bit different. We're gonna add in some stuff that is not quite as street style, a little bit of chicken, some prawns, some beans as well. But essentially, it's the same process. Just because we're adding a couple of extra ingredients doesn't take it away from being Nasi Goreng. It's just a slightly fancier version. So let's get started. I'll start from the end first and work my way back to the beginning. So the things that we're gonna serve our Nasi Goreng with is just a bit of sliced cucumber, a bit of tomato, and a wedge of lime as well. So I'll just cut those up first and put those to the side. And now for the basis of the fried rice dish, we need to make what's called a rempah. A rempah is essentially a base paste or a spice mix, I guess sometimes it's called. But what we're using is some shallots, some garlic, and this is belacan, sometimes called terasi in other parts of the world. It's basically a shrimp paste, a fermented dried shrimp paste. Really pungent, very strong, savory flavor. This is the source of our umami in this dish. I'm just gonna blend all of these together. You could use a mortar and pestle, but a blender these days is very simple. And actually we don't need to get it super fine. I actually quite like the paste a little bit rough because that just gives more texture in the fried rice dish. The garlic cloves I can just throw in whole. Got some chili here too. Now, if you want this very hot, you could use hotter, smaller chilies. Generally, the smaller they are, the hotter the chilies tend to be, but I actually want to keep this one relatively mild. So just some larger chilies I'm using. One's probably enough. I could throw another one in, but it smells a little bit pungent. I can feel it tickling my nose just a touch. And now the belacan. Some people toast the belacan, either frying it in a dry frying pan or wrapping it in some aluminium foil. But I think if we're gonna fry off the paste later, you don't really need to toast it off first. Seal that and just blitz it all up. I'll stop it there because I do want it to be still quite textural, so it's not completely smooth in a paste there, but still very pungent. This will be the base of our frying of our fried rice. Now, your basic Indonesian fried rice, nasi goreng, would just be this, fried together with that rice with an egg on top. I've got a few other things going in there too, some beans, and absolutely, you would still get this version in Indonesia. It's not like you can watch this and everyone's going, oh, you would never find this type of thing with prawns and chicken and beans in it anywhere close to Indonesia or Malaysia. You absolutely would. Maybe not at your street side warung, but definitely if you were on holiday there, this is the kind of thing you could find. Just break the ends off the beans, cut them into some smaller pieces. The prawns I think I'll just leave whole, and the chicken I'm just gonna take some of it. That's a big chicken breast. I certainly don't need all of that, but I'll just cut some small pieces. Chicken breast, prawns, green beans. This stuff I will use for garnishing later. And I've got some egg, which is very important for nasi goreng because it always needs a fried egg on top. And also some of these. Probably haven't seen something that looks like that before because this is it in its kind of its raw form. This is called udang keropok. So it's what it means is prawn cracker, basically. You've had prawn crackers before. This is what it looks like before you fry it. So I'll start again at the end first and work forward, and I'll fry my egg and prawn crackers first before we get on to the rice. Okay, so let's start with the prawn crackers first. Now, I'm gonna need a fair bit of oil into my wok here because I'm gonna deep fry them. And you don't need the oil too hot. You know, sort of 160, 170 is absolutely fine. If you get up towards 200, the prawn cracker is gonna brown a bit too much and you still want them to be quite sort of silvery, pinky white because that's the nice prawn cracker color. And when that comes up to temperature, I'll just start to drop the prawn crackers in one at a time because it will sort of expand to a much larger size than this. And just take each of those out as they're cooked. Now, if you don't have the inclination to be deep frying, you still can make these. They won't be quite as nice, but let me show you another trick. Just drop it into the microwave, nothing else, no oil or anything, nothing else for about a minute, and it'll come out like this. Not quite the same as the deep fried version, but still pretty good. Now that the prawn crackers are done, I'll take most of the oil out. So I'll return that back into the jug, still leaving a bit of oil in the base there because I want to fry my egg now. I'm using quite a lot of oil because I want it to be sort of puffy and crispy around the edges. It's not like a sunny side up egg that you get with an American breakfast. This really needs to be kind of a fried egg, as in plenty of oil so that it does have that crispy brown exterior. I'll take that out now. And there's probably still a bit too much oil in there for frying my rice, so I'll just pour a little bit more of that out. You know, one of the things with fried rice is you do use more oil than you would otherwise think because the oil really does have to coat every grain. That gives you that nice fried rice texture. So a fair bit of oil still in there. And now my rempah. Now the thing with the rempah is you've got to really fry it. It's not like a 2-minute frying thing. So keep the heat a little bit lower than you would for ordinary wok cooking. Just keep moving it back and forth. It's starting to get more and more pungent. It's exactly how it should be. Now, if I wasn't adding all of my optional extras in, I'd just put the rice in right now. But because I've got the chicken and the beans and the prawns, those can go in now. Chicken first. And the beans and prawns. And just as they're starting to cook through, the rice. Touch of salt for this as well. But the main flavor comes from this, ketchup manis. Ketchup is a sauce, soy sauce, I guess, in this case. Manis just means sweet. It's a sweetened soy sauce, so you don't need to add too many more seasonings to this. A nice drizzle of sweet ketchup manis over the top. And that is our Nasi Goreng. I'll put it onto a plate, feed those other things on the side, fried egg on top, and we're done.